Good afternoon. Welcome to another edition of the EquinEdge Stakes preview show. We got you covered. We're going to start today, but we'll go through Saturday. Big weekend at Saratoga, obviously, tomorrow, Oldie. And some action,
Yeah.
obviously, at Del Mar, Woodbine. And we're going to cover another Alabama Stakes, which we covered about a month ago, I think. But it's good to be back. I've been gone for a bit. How you doing, buddy?
I'm doing pretty good. Yeah, it definitely is good to be back. We've both been all over the place the last couple weeks, but good to have you back. I think we got some fun stakes. We got Sovereignty and the Travers, and just
Mhm.
some really good quality racing, hopefully, and a lot of good quality dirt racing at Saratoga this weekend.
Yeah, it did. And thanks everybody in the chat. Feel free to chime in. If you just joined Scotty and David on NHC show, this one a little bit different. Oldie, you and I cover the big stakes racing all weekend. Sometimes we start on Thursday. Today we're going to start today actually for a race that happens in about an hour and a half over at Saratoga.
Yeah,
Race number 9. Bluegrass, good to see you. And Dan always puts in a lot of work
yeah,
for us, solely on the work side. So we appreciate
absolutely.
that. We'll be able to see that in EE. But we start this afternoon, at least my time. You can see Pacific time 2:41, 5:41 Eastern. The Yado Stakes, Oldie. When I was on my trip, I went up to Saratoga for the first time. And it's a good place. About a week later, I went to Del Mar. I still love the beach, Oldie. The beach still trumps it all for me. But it was a lot of fun up there. I'm impressed the race sim. We'll watch. I got to see Mr. Matt Miller. He joins us sometimes. I saw Howard from the HHH podcast and a bunch of those guys.
Mhm.
Saw some people from EE. It was a good time. Here, spinning colors. I did cut the 8 and 11, Oldie. Um, but the 4 has a lot of speed. There looked to be a lot of speed in this race,
Yeah,
I
that's what
thought.
I thought.
Going 8.5. You see the high pace numbers. There's a lot of 1% horses.
Yeah, no,
And the two
I,
horses end up winning the race. And what did you think here?
I thought the same as you, is that there's a lot of speed here. The one might be just better than all these and could win, but I landed and I actually used in tournaments as well the 9 Sterling Silver
Yeah.
with the as the horse that I thought had a chance to close. It's finished second a bunch of times on the dirt. The GSR says should be fine here on the turf. Um, I think may have an ideal setup here in this race. And, has been in against better on the dirt as well. Finished second in that grade 2 ruffian going a mile at Aqueduct earlier this year. And, just I thought this set up very well for this horse.
Rob, no, we'll do it after we get through this race, then we can look at that because we're not really gonna, and we are gonna talk Charlestown. I forgot. We'll do Charlestown Classic tonight
Yep.
as well as the Oaks. So we'll talk about that next, everybody. If you just joined us, all the stakes racing from today and tomorrow, maybe a little bit of Sunday, but we're starting here at Saratoga and State Bred Stakes. I mean, I have this horse third, Oldie, so I can't argue with you. Big E morning line angle. I think if
Yep.
you watch the race sim, you're hoping then, to your point, with all this speed, this horse can try to sit the trip. I ended up putting a different horse on top, but I could see it. The morning line angle is huge. My biggest question mark, Oldie, was like this horse getting to the turf, for the first time in a long time, right? And has been on the turf one time. It's tough in my mind at start 33 to come and do that, but the morning line angle is legit, right? So takes a big drop from last out, has run some big races, kind of stalking the pace. Maybe can do it on the turf, right? So
Yeah.
um I ended up putting the 2 on top. Awesome check. Ricardo rides for the pause. I think isn't he having a pretty good meet, Oldie? Ricardo Santana.
Yeah.
I
Ricardo's having
mean,
a great meet.
I mean, and it's. I just thought this was a tough race. I do think the one has a shot too. You talked about the one, but I thought maybe this horse can stock the pace. I mean, tried at Big A and ran well here, 8.5. This race to me, Oldie, was tough. I would have to use multiple, but I like the price, Oldie, and like. I mean, I do think the nine's probably going to take a lot of money would be my perspective, and I think the one will. But I think the E Morning line is, I mean, that's why the nine has a big shot. But I'm not sure that horse going to take to the turf, Oldie. And so I thought that maybe the two horse getting back to lively race, 9 of 15 on the board. Perfect spot here at Saratoga, and the state bred Oldie has been facing open company but not winning. But with all the speed, maybe gets first jump. Oldie from the inside
Yep.
post, save ground, sit a really good trip. So that's where I land on top with the two.
Yeah, so I'm going to say I didn't like the two at all. Really, I thought this came down between the one and the nine. If the one has shown the ability to stock in the past,
Yeah.
in fact,
Yeah.
last time out, the question obviously is the layoff here. Um, I just think the two might need the lead.
Well,
Um,
I'm actually looking again. I actually put the one on top. Sorry. I saw it 1, 2, 9, 10. Like I'm
yeah,
so yeah. But keep going.
if the one doesn't go with the four, maybe the four has a chance to get away. But there is other speed here, like the seven looks like is a sprinter, has
Yeah,
gone long
this horse
before, low
doesn't fit
speed.
here, Oldie. I mean, the 62s and 56 SORs, I don't see it. It's going to show speed with spinning colors, who's winning 60s and
Yeah,
62s. Ran well last out in the 70s, so if this horse gets loose, it could be gone. But Moonage Daydream, I mean, has shown the ability to stock the pace, just like you said, verse 70s at State Bread Company in New York. I mean, she's going for 4 in a row. Like,
yep.
I mean, that is sorry, and that's where I'm not sure what happened to my no, but I'm with you. I think the nine has a shot, but I think the two has a shot too. Oldie, like I know this horse hasn't been winning, but I think gets back to a much better spot here. And some of these races you can toss from my perspective, Oldie. And I think with all the speed up front, it will help her to save ground. So
Yeah.
all right. I'm 1, 2, 9. The 10 if I was spreading, and you're 9, 1.
Yes, 9-1.
All right, we're gonna keep going to Charlestown tonight, Oldie. Friday night at Charlestown, 13 races. We don't cover Charlestown very often. They
No.
actually start here in about 45 minutes, right at about 5 Eastern. Allowance a bunch of state bred and open company stakes, $500,000 purse here. But we're going to just talk about the two graded stakes. Talking first about the Charlestown Oaks big purse, the 750,000, a grade two going a two turn 7 furlong. Let's watch the race sim. I'll expand this so we can see it. There looks to be a lot of contentious pace up front here, Oldie. It's going to be kind of an exciting race to watch. I mean, is
Yeah, I mean,
vodka with the twist really going to go to the front? Like, I mean, is coming from much tougher to so just gets the lead maybe. The 8 Secret Faith, Oldie, we've covered quite a bit, but the 7 wins the race sim pretty easy there off but the morning line didn't like it. And then look at the morning line on Secret Faith. I mean, the algorithms were kind of all over in this race, but what'd you think?
yeah. So I think I went with an upset here. Let me just double check myself here.
We're on the
Um,
same horse. You and I have
yeah,
the same horse on top.
yeah. So I have the one Indy Bay on top. I was
Yeah.
getting confused between Charlestown 11 and 10 there. I just think, Indy Bay has beaten horses of this level before.
Yeah.
Um, it has tactical speed. I think is probably better at this distance than Vodka with the Twist, who just finds a way to not win races. So
Yeah.
I'm going to go with Indy Bay on top.
No, so I was the same. She's never been two churns only. She hit the board in 6 of 6, and she's just a nut. She looks really good. I do recognize the name, but I don't remember watching her a ton. Obviously, you probably covered her down at Oaklawn once, and she was at Gulfstream
Yeah.
back in the spring, and you look for Safi. I rad rides back here. They didn't, 6.5 can always be tricky, and that was at Saratoga. The victory ride was a grade 382, and now finds way easier. When you look at GSR Plus, should be no issues with the stretch out here for Safi. You get the best or one of the best jocks in the country that I think can set off the speed. So you and I actually saw both Charlestown races here the same. But I think she's going to be really, really tough. And then who did you have for your second pick?
So I had a little bit of an upset there. I had the 4 Andrea, the other Safi, who's also tactical. Probably will be the one on the lead between the two Safis, but undefeated at the distance, as well as 12-1 on the morning line, 8%. Same percent as Secret Faith in terms of win percent as well.
Yeah.
And then I just thought this horse might be tactical. It did win that one race by almost 10 lengths. When it's been on, it's been really on. So maybe this will be a time where it's really on.
Yeah. I mean, you're going to get the right price, right? I mean, it's
Yeah.
not a bad long shot. So I agree with you from that perspective. I ended up putting Secret Faith. I mean, it's a big step up, but she's just been facing easier, Oldie. So I think they do find the right spot for open company. I think she runs a good race. I mean, again, she's been
Yeah.
facing predominantly easier, right? But she did win the 78 going 6 at Fairgrounds. She stretches out, kind of the question mark, Oldie, and like obviously she romped last out, was much the best. She's not in the picks and only 8%, but I do like that the morning line. I think she'll run a good race. I'm not sure she wins though. That's why I ended up putting the one on
Yeah.
top. And you already kind of talked about Vodka with the twist, but I do think Secret Faith will run a good race. She's obviously well bred, really nice horse for Gelner. I thought it's an exciting race. Like I'm kind of excited to watch
Yeah.
these couple races tonight and I think you can play the daily double here, Oldie. But we'll talk about that in a second. But Scott, yes, I mean Safi is everywhere, Oldie. Like he says some really nice
Yes.
horses all over the place. Like Scott, it's a very good point. And Rob, I didn't forget about you. But I thought you were 1-4, and then who was your third pick?
The 7 Vodka with a Twist. Nothing exciting.
Yeah, no, I mean, it makes sense. I mean, she easily wins the race sim. I mean, you toss the turf race, right? And I think that's kind of interesting that D'Amato put her on the turf and now it didn't run at all. Obviously, Louis in town to ride here.
Mm-hmm.
He's not road, but highly capable, obviously. I mean, I think that it's an interesting, okay, we're gonna go on the turf to now. I mean, what are they? Are they just trying to show a ton of speed, Oldie? You know what I mean? I mean, she showed
Yeah.
speed at Charlestown and she nearly wired the field. So that's my assumption. Is like they think they have the class and the speediest horse, but I worry a little bit with her that the other speed, right? And
Yeah.
I just think it's kind of a tough spot for her. So I agree with you. I had her third. And then the only other horse at a price, Oldie, although I do like Indy Bay quite a bit, but was the 3 horse for Elliott. I'd be curious to get our good buddy Jake's thoughts on this from her. But I mean, this is a big step up. I don't
Yeah.
think she can win, but I would use her in all exotics, Oldie, in the trifectas and supers. I'm not sure she can get second, but a good price. If you get, if you're getting 20, 30 to 1, I think she runs a good race, Oldie. Like versus this group. Some of these I'm just not sure quite in the right spot, but I thought she could improve and maybe hit the board. So all right. I am and I'm gonna I'm a little bit behind today, but we did this Oldie last time I was on the stakes preview show a few weeks ago, so I'm gonna do it again. I'll try to do it a little bit faster each race for everybody in the chat so that you can see our picks. So you're 147 and I'm 1873.
Yep.
All right, now we're gonna go over to race 11 tonight, Oldie at Charlestown, 10:25 Eastern, 7:25 Pacific. The Charlestown Classic, and Skippy shows up, Oldie.
Yes. He
I
skipped
mean,
he winner last year of the Charlestown Classic, by the way.
correct. I saw that Skippy did win, and Skippy won the Charlestown Classic last year, Oldie. It was a bit of a tougher race, our strength of race says,
Hmm.
and won fairly easily, right?
Yeah.
So Race Sim has Skippy probably sitting up the speed, but we'll have to. This is going to be interesting. But Race Sim has Skippy kind of taking over here. Backs up and has Banishing. The one horse ends up winning the Race Sim. But what do you think here?
Yeah, don't think so. I think Skippy's going to win this race.
Only, I'm with you. That's why I like that daily double from the Charlestown Oaks. Like I like Skippy here too, but let's hear it.
You know, Charlestown's a weird course at this distance. You're going 3 turns. Um, Skippy has done it. The rest of these have not. Um, this is the kind of race Skippy has made his entire career cleaning up on.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, look at that, 1.1 million at Charlestown, 3 million nearly at 9 furlongs. To your point, one
Yeah.
last year, a year ago. That's a 74 oldie and won by 5 lengths on the lead that day.
Yeah.
So,
Also won the
it's
2023 Charlestown Classic
yeah.
as
I
well. So
mean,
two-time defending champion. We
yes.
know he likes Charlestown. And really, Banishing needs pace to run into, I feel like. And, you look and really a mile or shorter has been Banishing's distance. And now he's going to stretch out. And when he went 9 furlongs in the Blame, he was a non-factor.
Yeah.
When he went
Yeah.
9 furlongs in the Oakland handicap, he was a factor, but not good enough, So uh, I just don't
I
know
do
that.
think Banishing has a little bit of a shot, but I love Skippy too,
Yeah,
Oldie. If Skippy don't win, I do think it's Banish. I think the picks have this race actually. It's just
yeah.
what order you're gonna put them in, right? I think you and I agreed there. So Rob, you like volleyball, Princess who scratched. Oh, that not here. And then Willie D here. You like the 7, Rob, here. Willie D. All right. But I mean, I love to see 3 in a row at the Classic, Oldie. Race here twice, won this race twice, going for the third one tonight. Could be a short price, but I think makes a lot of sense.
All right. And I'll also just give honorable mention that Gould's Gold is capable of running a big one and being in the money. Did win the Smarty Jones last year.
Yeah. No, for sure. I mean, maybe he can run on. I think I didn't know if Ghoul's Gold could win, but I thought it was
Yeah,
between
agreed.
the one and the 4. But I do. I mean, maybe in the try, Oldie, right? I mean, it has the
Hmm.
8 in the try. I mean, the 8 or the 5 in the try at a price, right?
Yeah,
I
and
mean,
and the 5's actually the horse that I like in third, which I think we
yeah.
agreed on as well.
Hmm.
But that those are two underneath plays that you could use with Skippy in a try and potentially make
Yes.
some money.
Yeah. No, I'm with you. I thought that was a good way to bet it. So you are 415, right?
Yep.
and I actually see it the same. But and then uh, and you mentioned this, so I'm gonna do it. Uh, we actually see this one very much the same.
Yeah.
Uh, so really 4-1, right? Maybe 5-8 in the try or something to come on. But Skippy looks tough. Yes, Scrat. We decided to do back to back today because there's great racing. We covered Saratoga
Yeah.
about 10 minutes ago. And then we got two big Charlestown races tonight. If you just missed it, just tuned in, you can catch it after it replays, and you can also watch it on YouTube channel. All right, Oldie. Rob, I'm not forgetting about you though. So Oldie, Rob asked, we talked about race 9 at Saratoga in the stakes. We're not going to talk about race 10, but he asked about a jockey here in race 10. Fravino Villapino. He's from Italy, right? But
Yeah.
he obviously has won a race, but I'm not familiar. Are you familiar with him?
Not at all. No.
Yeah, to
Sorry, I'm
me
not
he
going to be
looks.
any use on that one.
Yeah, Rob, I don't know either. But maybe Ben, he must have maybe been riding at Saratoga. I don't know. I haven't played or watched a ton of Saratoga this year. So, all right, Oldie. Now we've covered this before. We
Yeah.
have tomorrow. We're gonna jump to tomorrow now, and we're gonna start tomorrow with a stakes race over at Evangeline Downs, and it's a 34 SOR stakes race, but Oldie, this is for Alabama bred. We covered them about a month ago. You have a big favorite in Jovi G, and then a horse like Wabash, who Wabash we've covered. Oldie couldn't
Hmm.
win last out. If I remember, I think you were on Wabash, and I was on the other horse that won. Um, but let's watch the race here. So Jovi G got lots of speed, Oldie,
But
and been
I
facing
tell you,
much tougher.
but has been no faced much tougher last time out, but really like seems to maybe need the lead on the and that those dirt efforts just aren't great. I mean, for me
Well,
to
I
take that
mean,
price, I mean, uh, I went Oppo you and I went with the four Wabash here.
all right. Talk to me about Wabash racing that we covered the bugging out last
Yeah,
time, that 26 SOR, and Wabash couldn't get it done. Tried to, and this horse doesn't needs to gonna need to show some more speed at this level. I mean, that was a pretty
yeah,
weak group, but I mean, it's going 8 furlongs. Maybe that helps.
and does seem to, from a GSR standpoint, be more of a dirt horse than the seven. Um, but this is a non-winner of three stakes race. So it's for non-winners of three Alabama stakes, state bred
That
stakes. I've never
that
seen that.
that. Well, I mean, I think it's just how they have this kind of Alabama bred circuit. I appreciate that they do it. I think it's kind of
Yeah,
cool, but I can see. I land on Jovi G. Jonathan Wong here. Tim Thornton makes so much sense in um down in Louisiana. Oldie Jonathan Wong's, this is basically where he races now, and Thornton rides down here a lot of the year. Occasionally rides over a little bit at fairgrounds and elsewhere, but I mean, so I get the didn't necessarily run on the dirt and won on the turf, but did win on the dirt and here, Oldie, going
yeah.
6.5 in that stakes race in a 42 is just tougher. And then one here, just got up in a 36. I mean, I like that they went and raced on the turf to get her to show speed, Oldie. And I think that's the plan. I think they get the lead, and I think she's gone. She's gonna be a short price, but oh, I think she's gonna be tough. Maybe it's just a 1-4 exacta cold, Oldie. Or
Okay.
sorry, 7-4 exacta cold. maybe even you get a horse like the 8, 2, or 6 in the try. That's how I looked at it. But I thought she was I would play her cold on top.
I think that rating is going to be the answer here. I think there's enough speed in this race that it's not going to be so easy for the 7 to get away, and I'm not convinced the 7 gets the lead from the outside either.
Yeah.
But we'll
All
see
right.
for sure.
We will. All right. You are 4-7. I am 7-4. That's tomorrow. Oh, not race 11, but race what, 7?
Yes.
All right. Let me show that one more time. That's tomorrow over at Evangeline for Alabama Breds, the Alabama Cotton State Stakes Oldie. All right. Big day, Saturday, over at Saratoga. A lot of graded stakes. Love to see that.
Yeah.
We're gonna start in race 7, Oldie. This is tomorrow. And in other news, you and I will be live here in, I don't know, 24 hours, and we're gonna start right around this race. We'll be live tomorrow doing the stretch run, 2:30 Eastern, 11:30 Pacific. All right, the Lake Placid. Whenever I hear Lake Placid, Oldie, I always think of the U.S. beating Russia at the Olympics.
For sure. That's my thought too. That, and there was a horror movie called Lake Placid.
There was. I don't know.
Yeah.
Wow. Thanks everybody for tuning in. It's good to have Friday, Oldie. We don't do this often anymore, but it's a good way to enter into the weekend. The 5 or Scarlet Sands. There didn't look to be a lot of speed in this race, Oldie, based on the pace figure.
Yeah, agreed. And there's not really a lot of class in this race either, in my opinion.
Yeah, I do agree with you there. I mean, the 1% have Mayday ready, towering over with Play with Fire running on. And then the 4, the long shot. What do you think here?
So I landed with Mayday ready on top. It was just tough to get past Mayday ready here. Um, I think we'll be closer than Mayday ready's been the last 4 races just because the lack of early speed here, I think we'll benefit from that, and that'll be the difference in getting the horse home.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with you. She's just better than this group for I can't, Joseph Lee. I mean, he has a nice one. Went over to Japan, right? I mean, didn't necessarily run, but I mean, wins in 70s and 76s at Keeneland, at Kentucky Downs, gets over to Saratoga here. I don't. I mean, this race obviously came off the turf, Oldie,
Yeah.
so I just scratched this race. And then last out in that, Oaks in an 80, she ran well,
But she
so
also had start trouble there, if you look at the trouble line.
yeah, lapped bubble that start. Came running on. So, she should be able to improve. She just needs a good trip versus this group because when you look at all the SORs, Oldie, she like towers over this group,
Yep.
right? Running and just much, much tougher, and has run really well at 8, So I think she runs well. I had her on top too. The race sim has her just winning, but all right, where'd you go second?
So I went with the with the 1 in second. We were on the same horses, just in different orders.
Yeah,
So I the 1 Play with Fire for Chad. It's going to be a low price. There's nothing all that exciting about it. I came out of the Brandon Walsh barn. Second time Chad here, just missed first time out, but again, significantly easier than this. And another horse that has absolutely no speed.
yeah. It's kind of crazy because when you look at the race sim, right? The 5 is a pure Scarlet Sands with the top number of 49, right?
Yeah.
So I mean, and then the 1 is the second horse, but doesn't have a ton of speed, for Pratt. So has never really been all that close to the front end in all 6 of those races, but I mean, she has, she's run well, but I had her third. I thought Warming was maybe the horse that could upset if Mayday Ready doesn't win. Oldie. I mean, she ran well in the Oaks too. She was closer to the
Mhm.
pace too, and just, didn't run on. But comes out of that same race with Mayday Ready for Graham. Manny rides. They get back to Saratoga. There's a cut back. They cut back to
Yeah,
8 from 9. So I like that, Oldie. So if that's right, I thought, and you get a morning line angle. So if Mayday Ready doesn't win, I like that exacta too, because I wasn't a fan really of the 2 or the 5, Oldie. For
yeah.
me. So um,
I mean, I had to go somewhere for a third pick, would be what I would say, but I don't particularly like this horse. Scotty would tell you that horses under 70 don't win graded stakes races. This one's
yeah,
under
yeah,
60.
yeah. Well, and I think to your point, they, you know, maybe they can't win. You look at that's why the 3 looks so tough,
Right.
right? The 1, maybe the main competition. The only way, can the 5 really like set easy fractions, Rosario? Well, I don't know. I just don't see it.
And do we trust him to go to the lead?
Well, he has to. You went to the lead last out on the Tapita. They better go to the lead.
But he's famous
That,
for choking those horses back. So if
well,
that's
yeah. I don't know. I don't this I thought was kind of a tough race because of the pace. I thought you could see all types of stuff happen. All right, you're 3-1-4, I'm 3-4-1 in the Lake Placid. Let's keep going. We'll skip race 8, Oldie, and go to race 9. The personal Ensign with Torpedo Anna, Oldie, and who else shows up here? Randomized again. Raging
Raging
Sea
Sea.
again. Oh, all right. Randomize is gonna have a lot of speed though to contend with, don't you think, Goldie?
Yeah, but so does Torpedo Anna, who's going to be
I
near the
know.
lead there. So
I know.
that's and
I
Raging Sea
worry. I
absolutely
worry.
laid an egg last time too.
I agree. Is Torpedo Anna gonna just? There's a lot of speed again here with the. I don't think the 5 has a shot. The 2 definitely gonna show speed. The race sim has Torpedo Anna just setting the trip and winning the race. What do you think?
I landed with Raging Sea on top again. I thought Raging Sea is going to should sit that similar trip as when she beat Torpedo Anna last time out, or last time the two of them faced each other, not last time out.
Yeah,
Um,
back in the Troyan, right? Where
yeah,
randomized set the pace and set it up for Raging Sea.
and then I didn't even have Torpedo Anna in second here.
Well, okay, so what do you think? She just gonna get dueled up front? She doesn't want to sit off that this this is there's a lot of speed for randomized.
Yeah,
Can they get Torpedo Anna are they gonna get her to just rate off the pace, oldie?
I think they're going to try, but I think even being too close to that hot of a pace is bad.
Yeah, no,
You, you know,
I agree with you from that perspective.
so she's going to have to show a new um, ability to rate further back than she has recently. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
going back
Mm-hmm.
to the way she won the fantasy in 2024, or maybe even further back than that. I so I'll let you talk about your top pick, and then I'll talk about where I'm going in second here.
Yeah, I ended up kind of going back and forth between Raging Sea and Torpedo Anna, but I actually put Raging Sea on top again, Oldie, just based on what we just talked about. Like I do think this sets up. There's all that other speed up there, and I don't know. I worry about Torpedo Anna's trip here a little bit, similar to what happened last time. And I think the value's there on Regency. I think Torpedo Anna gonna get crushed, and I think you might be able to beat her again. I
Yeah.
think she's a really nice horse though, so I did put her in second, but I put Regency on top and then had Torpedo Anna in second. Who'd you put in second?
I put Darth Vader in the 4 horse in second.
Yeah. I do think the picks have it because I agree with you. I put
Yeah.
this horse third. So talk to me about Darth Vader.
I mean, did beat Raging Sea in the Ogden Phipps,
Yeah.
2 back
Mm-hmm.
in the slop. The the horse stayed on that day in a way that it hadn't, but was trending towards, and then didn't really run in the at Monmouth. May have not liked the track that day, is my guess. Um, but comes back to Saratoga here. I think could sit in between Raging Sea and Torpedo Anna, and if Torpedo Anna backs up, could be sitting right there.
Yeah. I would use all three in horizontal bets for me.
Yeah,
I didn't have enough confidence in Raging CLD, but I like the analysis. I totally agree with you. I mean, she hasn't won a lot lately, but I do think she fits in this like a situation with this race, Oldie. And you get Johnny V for George Weaver. He's been aboard, so he obviously likes her, continues to
yeah,
ride here, gets the mount. I mean, she's a nice horse, and maybe she gets another grade one, 1-2 back to your point. I mean, that was at Saratoga, and I know it was in the slop, but it's still impressive. She has nice races and some really nice grade ones. So I agree with you. All right. You're 3-4-7. I'm 3-7-4.
and let me just say, if you're spreading there, you should add the 6 Leslie's Rose as well in your multis.
Per Fletcher, Irad. Yeah, Irad gonna be. It's gonna be interesting. He probably takes some Irad money, so
Yeah,
probably what 5-1, 6-1. But maybe she's the one. I mean, she won the Ashland off the pace, and then one last out here, right? So,
for sure.
all right, Oldie, going to race 10, the H. Allen Jerkens Memorial. Oldie, I thought this race was so tough.
Yeah, I thought this was the toughest race on the card.
Yes, agreed. I do. Yeah, I'm glad we see that the same. Yeah, I'm like, I kept trying to. I'm like, okay, I like that horse. No, I don't. No, I like that horse. Oh, I like both those. No, I like this horse. But I mean, look at everybody so close, Soldy. I mean,
Yeah.
and look at the race sim. I mean, it's wide, absolutely wide open.
Yeah.
Midland Money I think, ends up wiring the field for Bob Baffert. He has three here, Oldie. The two, Midland Money Barnes, the three, and he has Madacat Road. Didn't our good buddy Hot Rod used to really like that horse?
Yeah, that was his Derby pick.
Oh, that's right. That's right. All right. What do you think though? Who'd you put on
Um,
top?
I went with the 3 Barnes on top, the most expensive of the Bafferts in this race. Because wasn't that like a $2 million or $3 million purchase by the Zidane family?
Yeah. Yeah, no, it was. I mean, they've always that this was the horse they talked about of getting to the Derby,
Yeah,
but never made it. I mean, so is this horse just gonna stalk the pace off the speed?
I think so. I think that's the.
Just like
I think that.
rate? It's just gonna rate off the two? What if the two gets away?
I
I don't
mean,
know if
I
I
think
see.
that the 2 and the 8, both could be on the lead, but Barnes, I think did his best running, not on the lead. I think he gets lost on the lead, but needs to
Yeah.
break for a little better than he did the last couple times out. Needs to get out of the gate. I think the freshening's done this horse some good. Gets Jose aboard here. Um, I think if you get 9-2, that's amazing in this race. And I just think Barnes could be better than this group which is just a group of that we're all looking at and being like, well, I can't tell the difference between any of these. So that's kind of my thought here.
Yeah, I had Barnes in fourth, but again, like I probably have a lot of horses in fourth. I ended up putting Captain Cook on top, Oldie, mainly because this horse nearly wins the race and is going to be like 15-1 or something. I mean, it is the top pick too. I mean, maybe with I just think there's so much speed. Maybe from this post, this horse just sits like some dream trip. I mean, they have won at 7, broke the maiden for Dutro. I mean, former Dutro, now Todd Fletcher. I mean, St.
Yeah.
Elias stable. So, but this race was so tough, and that's part of why in a situation like that, well, they had to take this horse if I was playing a tournament, just because the price is going to be so good. But
Yeah.
I mean, lost both these races in graded stakes. So, I mean, it's a massive step up. I mean, but maybe isn't quite as close to the pace, and they can get this horse back to the ability that it showed, nearly a year ago to sit right off. So that's why I landed on top.
Well, I think Pletcher. So if you look, Pletcher's not a good
Yeah,
first
I
race
know.
with horse
Yeah,
guy. It usually
yeah.
takes him a race. So I I know there were very high hopes for this horse. David mentioned it when we were talking before the New York Derby props that they thought this
Mm.
was
Hmm.
a horse that had the chance to win the Derby. Uh, I just don't think this horse is all that good, and they don't typically run back all that well. Those disappointing New York
Yeah.
uh, horses. So, I mean, I get the move, but you're also, you know, Johnny V is on a Baffert. Irad's on a Baffert is not on Baffert. He's on a Chad Brown here. He couldn't even get Jose aboard. So I'm just thinking likely not a runner here.
Could be. I don't know. This race tough, but I mean, I bet runs a good race. I mean, that's why this 3-0 group, Oldie, there's a lot of question marks for so many of these. Patch Adams, Barnes, Captain
Yeah.
Cook, Madacat Road, Chancer McPatrick in here, Oldie. Gonna try to come flying off the. There's just gonna be some crazy pace that this horse gonna come flying, but I don't know. When I see a price like that, this can be the longest shot on the board, probably, Oldie. So, I
Yeah.
mean, it's a great spot for a long shot play. So,
So in second, I was torn between Patch Adams and Verifier, the two um, Cox horses, but I landed on Verifier in second.
big morning line angle, 15%. The two Brad Cox runners is second. Cox goes for 4 in a row, Oldie. I know that they've talked a lot about this horse in all of these starts and has not disappointed. I mean, has been dominant. And but faces graded stakes for the first time.
But is the one in here that, Patch Adams too, but Patch Adams, I'm not sure how Patch Adams will run on a dry track. And that was really, for me, the separator between the two. Patch Adams has won 2 in a row on wet tracks, but he hasn't won on a dry track since it broke its maiden. So that's how I landed on Verifier. You're also getting Pratt aboard there, and I just think you're never going to get a price like this again on this horse if this horse wins here. So if you get 4-1 here, and I think the Bafferts are going to take a lot of money, and I think Patch
Yeah,
Adams will take a lot of money here.
I know the morning line. I mean, all right. So you like verify. I like Midland Money, the other Baffert. Joel. I mean, he this time, Oldie. I think he only knows and has one plan. He's sending. And this horse's only shot to run him off their feet at Saratoga. When we watch the race, Oldie, I mean, this horse is fast. I mean, has a 24-point pace advantage. I mean, I know that, Smoking Wicked others might show speed, but ends up winning the race in
Yeah.
Oldie. The 2 with the 7, the 6 runs on, going to be a big price. I mean, it's just they're all right there. But I thought that Midland Money might just run them off their feet.
Yeah, I mean, could for sure. Um,
Yeah, David, he might. Like, I mean, that horse is fast, Oldie. I
but
mean,
I'm going to remind everybody that there's typically a pecking order amongst Stafford horses. So even if this is the fastest Stafford horse, it does not mean that he's going to let that horse have the lead.
no, I get it, right? I mean, and you're gonna have the 3 right there with Barnes. So I mean, which is what I would expect. So I again, as David said too in the chat, very tough race. But
Yeah.
all right, I'm 7 to. You want to talk about Patch because I think that's your third pick, right?
I did a little bit about how Patch really needs to prove himself on a dry track for me.
Yeah, I would agree. I mean, both
And
those wins are in the mud, and I mean, did break the maiden on a dry track, but didn't run in these, and these were easier grade 3. But they are cutting back, Oldie. I mean,
but
mean,
I do have a note on Patch back from Oak Lawn that he didn't fire and there was no visible excuse in that Southwest,
yeah, yeah.
and that was, dry track. And I have a note about wet tracks on the horse from the last race too.
No, I agree. I mean, the GSR shows it, right? That
Yeah.
on a wet track, it's much higher. 86 on a dry and 89 on a wet. You don't. So I think to your point, I mean, this horse has tripped out in back-to-back wet track efforts, so it might make it tough. All right, you're 3-5-1. I'm 7-2-1-3. Anything else before we leave the H. Alan Jerkens Memorial, Oldie?
No, we can leave HL and Jerkens alone for now.
All right. The 11th, the
Also a tough
Resorts
race.
World. I agree. I do agree there. The Resorts World Ballerina Stakes. More speed, Oldie, this time from Mystic Lake. Look at that morning line, Oldie.
Yep.
2-1. What happened here? I might have to ask David how he got 10-1 here, but we got this horse. I mean, Hope Road outside post. Gonna try to show speed too. Then you have Scylla and Zeitlos likely coming off the pace.
Yep.
What do you think, Oldie?
So I landed on Mystic Lake in an upset here. Just
I
being,
I agree. The morning line angle and the value
yeah,
could be huge.
just being faster. Safi, as we mentioned, is everywhere. We've covered a bunch of Mystic Lakes races as well earlier this year. Um, it seems to be back in form. If Mystic Lake gets on the lead without, some of the other challengers earlier in the year, I think Mystic Lake could be gone here.
Yeah,
And the
I
race isn't
agree.
over, by the way, if Mystic Lake doesn't get the lead, because Mystic Lake has rated before too.
Yeah, you can see that back here. Um, but I do think Mystic Lake does just try to run off. But I agree with you, Oldie. I had this horse on top. Safi Ricardo, 1-82 grade 2 at Gulfstream on the dirt. That's a tough race.
Yeah.
Earlier last winter, had a really good meet at the winner for Safi. He shows up here. We talked about Safi kind of being all over the place. Has a lot of nice horses. I think she could run away with it, Oldie. I mean, could be dangerous on the dirt. I'm curious the price we get, but I'm with you. I had her on top. Who did you we didn't I know we had different opinion on the next horse. So who'd you have second?
I had Hope Road second here. Um, I'll say the reason that I have a little bit of trepidation about Hope Road is I'm kind of looking at Hope Road and thinking maybe Hope Road's a two-turn mile type horse or maybe longer. Here, at 7 furlongs. So the horse is 0 for
Yeah.
3.
0 for 4,
Uh,
I think. I
is
think
there
0 for 4.
no 3?
Yeah, 0 for 4. What's this 4 here?
Did I miss one? Oh, there was an earlier one before.
Yeah. Yep.
But,
Yeah. 0
uh,
for, I have that note. That's a big concern, Oldie, for me.
yeah,
Like that's why I do it. I didn't. That was a yeah. I like to see horses run better at a distance.
yeah. So I mean that's my thought as to why I didn't have Hope Road on top. But I think Hope Road runs a really good race and probably finishes in the money. But
Mm.
I had it Mystic Lake Hope Road there.
Yeah, and Rob, so she's entered at. Rob said that she's entered at Charlestown tonight. Must be in one that probably that other stakes race that had like $500,000 purse. Uh, well, I mean, so I guess we'll have to see. Maybe she scratches from here. I don't know. I thought she could get. Maybe that's why he. Man, I don't know. I'm curious about the morning line. That he must. That's probably why she's such a high morning line because she was dual entered and how David came up with the morning line. But all right, so you had Hope Road second. I ended up having. I put the 6 horse Zeitlos second. You know, if they're at this point, Oldie, if there's a lot of speed, somebody like Scylla or Zeitlos is coming. I ended up putting the 6. I do think the 7 has a shot, but I mean, she's a nice horse, Oldie. I mean, she hit the board in 16 of 20 junior rides for Steve. Rode last out, nearly won off the pace, only in a 76 on the turf. So I thought that was interesting too. They sprint 5.5, Oldie, on the turf, like.
Yeah.
And now though they get back and they stretch out to 7, so but she's 0 for 3 at 7. So, that maybe that's a problem, but I just thought it was an interesting angle and she won, last year at Saratoga. She sprinted, then went to Churchill, came flying off the pace in a 74 going 6.5, Oldie. So maybe it happens again, if there's a lot of speed.
All right. So is this Mystic Lake will be a scratch of the Grade 1 Ballerina at Saratoga, and she'll run at
Okay.
Charlestown. Um,
All right.
according to this.
Does that change your opinion at all on Hope Road?
Yeah, I mean then I like Hope Road a lot more,
Yeah.
but I think it also opens the race up a lot more where somebody like Brightwork was the my next off horse. So I had Scylla third, but Scylla's 0 for 4 at the distance as well.
Yeah. No,
But
I know.
I
I
think
mean, but
somebody
she
like
comes from much tougher,
yeah,
right? But
for
that
sure.
pace isn't necessarily going to be there like it was. I mean, the nine's still fast, and I think some of these others need to lead, right? But maybe not. I mean, maybe Hope Road gets an easy lead now or
Yeah.
something. Um,
But I think somebody like Brightwork could run back to the 2023 and 2024 form coming off the layoff here. I also think my main squeeze or Claire Beret might have a shot here. Claire Beret just missed in the Chicago going 7 furlongs for Safi.
This
So
is
he's
I'd put this horse on top, Oldie, now that the 1 has scratched. I mean, that was an insane run, and in a race like this where I still worry about the 6 or 7, and I wasn't really a fan of the 9. I mean, this horse might just be getting better, right? I mean,
yeah,
Safi got this horse, Oldie. Look, Safi got this horse first time, wins a handicap by 20 lengths, 20 in
20.
a 68, But looking to your point, the Chicago at 7 furlongs, she ends up nearly winning, Oldie, just stocking off the pace at 10 to 1, and she's going to be another price. And you have Irad riding for Safi. Talk about
Yeah.
Safi all day today, but with the 1 scratch. So I'm 5, 6, 7 then.
All right, I'm gonna go 975 here.
All right, we talked briefly about Scylla, but talk about her real quick, just as I modify this.
I mean, she's like I said, 0 for 4, but she's been running in high level grade ones against the best sprinter, the best filly mare sprinters in the world, or not in the
Yeah.
world, in the U.S. At 80 plus SORs here, and she's actually getting some class relief in terms of the SOR here. I think the question just is there now enough pace here, enough contentious pace for her to get up?
Yeah.
That would be my only question mark. I'm less concerned about the distance with her as I am about the pace setup.
Okay. Yeah. I mean now because she just has no speed. So
Right.
David likes my main squeeze for Maker. I mean she could. I mean she's run some good races. She's run on the lead, off the lead. That was State Bred last out, and she romped. But what's that Saratoga though? Tough group. So Mr.
Yeah.
Harrison also likes the 8. I mean it wouldn't surprise me. This is a tough race. All right, Oldie. That's the Resorts World Ballerina. No one horse in Mystic Lake gonna race over at Charlestown tonight. And if you missed that earlier, Oli and I talked about the Charlestown Oaks as well as the Classic tonight. Back-to-back races. Skippy racing over there, Oldie, and some now Mystic Lake.
For sure.
All right, the Forego, Oldie, the 12th at Saratoga on Saturday. Most Wanted, Bishop's Bay, Bookham Dano, Mulligan. Hold my bourbon. This is a tough one too, Oldie.
For sure. This was one of the
I mean, Bookham
toughest, I
Dano.
think.
Whoa, Bookham Dano, a nice horse, but the race sim has Bookham Dano running big, and everybody else, Oldie, look at what's happening. Everybody else is backing up. Is this
Yeah,
just all Bookham Dano?
I went with an upset here on top. I think Bookham Dano has a big shot for sure. But I was torn between Most Wanted and Bishop's Bay, the
Yeah.
two Cox horses, and I landed on Most Wanted here just because
Well,
I think
I
Most
ended up
Wanted can,
landing on Bishop's Bay. So, but keep going. No, keep
uh,
going. I love it. That's awesome.
yeah, just because I thought Most Wanted might be able to stalk a little more and sit a trap between the speed and Bookham Dano here.
Yeah, I
But
mean, I agree with you. I kind of struggle back and forth. I mean, has just run outstanding races. I mean, this is an incredible race. The
yeah,
Forego is Oldie. I mean, and you look at Oldie, so Full Moon Madness never won here. You know, many of these, it's just an incredible, like an awesome race. In that, my point though, Brad Cox have 2 here, Oldie, right? And we talked about them
yep,
both. And he has a huge shot. You like Flo with Most Wanted. Cuts back. I mean, they were at 8 last out. This is the, one time broke the maiden, if I remember correctly, Oldie. Yes,
yes,
broke the maiden going 7. And then just missed it. This kind of graded stakes level. Gonna have to like improve in a way though, right? I
yeah,
mean, but one easy last out in that allowance race to be expected. So I had that horse second. I put Bishop's Bay on top, has won 4 in a row. Gonna go for 5. Will also have to improve. Romped last out, kind of rating right off the pace there at Monmouth in the slop. Has won at Oaklawn, Oldie.
yep.
You probably covered Bishop's Bay quite a bit last spring and winter, but Cox has a good one. I rides here for the first time. No Flavian Pratt, but Mr. Ortiz 10 of 10 on the board, Oldie, and 7 of 10. They cut
Yeah.
back to 7, so that's the question, right? It has never been 7, but GSR says should be fine. That's where I ended up putting on top was Bishop's
Yeah.
Bay.
So that was my second horse. I will add on Most Wanted that much like Bishop's Bay is only finished first or second, Most Wanted is only finished first or second.
Yeah, right? 8 of
5
8,
wins and
and
3. Yeah.
yeah, that's pretty incredible.
And then Mulligan has been whooped by Bookham Dano. Um, yeah, I just think Bookham Dano is better than
Yeah.
that horse. So I kept Bookham Dano in third. The 7 furlong distance is the question there for Bookham Dano and why I went elsewhere.
Yeah. I mean, it has won 3 of 6 though at 7.
But if you look, last time out at 7, no Gouda had a, the wins at a handicap level. The last win, the
No,
two
yeah.
graded
Yeah.
stakes at 7, well, including the Jerkens last year, wasn't good enough. Was just
Yeah.
a little short. So I think 7 or 6.5 might be the 6 or 6.5 might be the ideal distance for this horse.
Well, and has when a lot of times, I mean, to your point, I mean, has found good spots at 7 furlongs. Did win the Woody Stevenson in 76 last summer, and then raced at Keeneland and Saratoga. Oldie here was in the Allen Jerkens and couldn't win way off the pace. Right, has been a lot closer to the pace of recent, so probably gets a much more comfortable trip. But I thought the 1 or 2 could be dangerous up here with the speed, Oldie.
Yep.
So you and I see this race very similar. And I think Mulligan, the other player, was, I mean, makes sense, but I don't know. Source just hasn't been able to win recently. What hasn't been the favorite either. I mean, it's always a short price, but still doesn't get the job done. That's why I kind of looked elsewhere.
Makes sense.
All right, you are Oldie 1, 2, 4.
One. Yep.
And I was 2, 1, 4. All right. That's race number. Oh, that's race number 12, huh? We got one more at Saratoga, Oldie, on Saturday. The big one. The 1.2 million DraftKings, Oldie. DraftKings,
Yep.
Travers Stakes, 3-year-olds. The good buddy magnitude shows up here as well as going to be an absolutely short price, Oldie, in Sovereignty. We haven't seen magnitude in a bit. Did race there at Prairie Meadows, but let's watch
Yeah.
the race sim. A very short field for the Travers, Oldie, but I don't know. Looks fairly competitive. At least on the win percent outside of Sovereignty, who has about half of it.
For sure. And I thought it was interesting that the race sim doesn't see sovereignty getting or magnitude getting as easy of a lead as the pace number would indicate.
That happens sometimes. What I see, Oldie, is usually in Sovereignty, kind of sits the trip to win the race. My only going back to the first call, usually, Oldie, when I see that, it's because the SOR and, bracket buster coming from, some tough races. This horse and Louis Saya is always good out of the gate. Maybe doesn't allow the one to get such an easy lead, right? And so
Yeah.
maybe kind of sets it up for Sovereignty. But what do you think?
I thought that sovereignty might just be better than this group.
Yeah,
But I think it's those two horses. And, um, McAfee was another disappointing Dutro horse
yeah.
as well. Just hasn't put it all together. I don't think this is the time. I will say on the negative part for sovereignty, no horse has ever won the Derby, the Belmont, and what was
Travers,
the before? No, the race before the Travers, the
Jim Dandy.
Jim Dandy and the Travers.
Yeah, I mean Derby, Belmont, Dandy. You can see it there. And so nobody's gone. Churchill, and then so that for Godolphin, that's sweeping the Saratoga
Yeah,
big dirt graded stakes essentially. Um, I mean, yeah, and Rob getting back to bracket buster, 100% Louis is going to be aggressive because that's Louis. He's going to be good out
yeah,
of the gate. That That's why I put Sovereignty on top, Oldie. I mean, everybody think this horse is just gonna kind of win. I mean, I agree, probably. I actually really like Magnitude as a horse, Oldie, but that's partially because we covered this horse, and I remember that day well when Ben Curtis sent from that 12
Mhm.
post and was fast and just ran. He had a big price, right? But I think Bracket Buster, Rob, to your point, is going to show speed. I think there's a lot of speed here, and it just kind of sets this up perfect for Sovereignty, Oldie, is how I saw it. So, um, yeah, and I was surprised. I mean, I had saw the morning. I mean, the morning line at 2 to 1 on Magnitude's pretty crazy.
Yeah. And the E morning line thinks strategic focus should be 2 to 1.
Yeah, not Magnitude.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, strategic focus runs on here, but then backs up. I mean, it has, so I don't know. I mean, didn't win either one of these races as the favorite for Chad and Flavian. I mean, this horse just didn't seem to really compare, but it was 2 to 1 on the E morning line, which is pretty crazy.
Yeah. And maybe he wants 10 furlongs. Maybe that the GSR goes up 6 points. There, the horse is working well according to Bluegrass Dan's reports on the works there.
Mm,
That was a horse I thought could run in the money and maybe run in between those two horses.
the strategic focus.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I mean, maybe that, and I mean, and maybe you get a good price, you know what I mean, Oldie?
Yeah.
But I mean, we've all talked about people and the prices and what people are seeing in some of the bets. I mean, this is why, Oldie, though. The morning lines get set like this, and, other people are going to see, the difference here, but maybe you get a good price in the exacta. Or on the flip side, it gets crushed. It's gonna,
Yes.
you know what I mean? Like, I don't think there's an in between probably there, in my opinion. But maybe you get better than you think though, Oldie, with the 6 to 1 morning line on strategic focus and the 2 to 1 on Magnitude, right? Maybe you
Yeah.
do get, in the exacta, maybe you can get 4 to 1 or 5 to 1 or something.
Agreed.
All right, that's the DraftKings Travers 1.2 million, Oldie. Big race tomorrow. You and I will be covering it. Race number, what do we got? Race 13. Or no, that's the last one at
Yeah.
Saratoga. So let me put you. I think Sovereignty is winning there, Oldie. I don't know. You're
Yeah, I agree.
4-3 in the exacta, right?
Yes.
Okay. There is race 13 for tomorrow, Saturday, the Travers, presented by DraftKings. And we have Sovereignty running, Oldie, tomorrow. Torpedo Anna maybe gets upset,
Mm.
right? So if you missed that, everybody, you can, it will replay and you can catch that. All right, we're going to go to Del Mar, Oldie, and cover a few more races on Saturday and maybe a
Yep.
couple on Sunday. But over on Saturday, we actually get to cover some Del Mar, Oldie. We haven't. We've been doing the preview show
Yeah.
a little bit earlier in the week, and the card hasn't been out. But this is a nice race. Speedboat Beach, Dr. Venkman, both show up here. Let's watch the race sim. Speedboat Beach for Mr. Baffert, right, Oldie?
Yes, and and JJ stays to ride Speedboat Beach rather than going out west to ride or east to run one of the Baffert horses out there.
I agree. Stays here for the Pat O'Brien. The race sim has that 1-2-4-6 kind of across the line. Has a horse we've talked about, Stronghold, in the past. But all right, what do you think, Oldie?
I mean, Speedboat Beach, has had trouble staying on the track. Had about an 18-month layoff there between 2023 and 2025. Well, I wouldn't consider the second off the layoff. Uh, at least is coming back quickly here. Didn't run a lick though first time out. Actually ran a lick, but was done and finished by the stretch. I think this horse is probably ready to fire here. I don't think that they would have taken the horse off the bench at this point and moved it up to a grade 2 if it wasn't doing as well as it should be to win here. And it did win a grade 1 in 2023. So, I like Speedboat Beach here as a actual sprinter versus some of these others that are cutting back but are more route horses.
Yeah. I mean, Bob's gonna. I mean, she's just working lights out, which is not. I mean, Bob always has them working like this, so it's not super surprising. I ended up putting her in second. I went with Dr. Venkman, Oldie. I mean, Glatt. I mean, they won the San Diego going 2 turns. They're getting to 7, and we talked a little bit about that. And I mean, she's won and has 2 seconds. Speedboat Beach has won once. I mean, 8 horse, as well as the 3 who I don't think fits. But I always like horses that run well at 7 furlongs, and you can see that for Dr. Venkman. I mean, 1 back-to-back races there in allowance. These were tougher, Oldie. Last, lightly raced, 7 of 9, finds a great spot, nearly won here, 3 back in the triple bend. But this is an easier grade 2, Oldie. I mean, than Dr. Venkman's been facing. I just found a really good spot. And I mean, but I do think that the 2 could get away, Oldie. So I can't really argue with you. I ended up being 1-2, but yeah.
And I had Dr. Venkman in second, and then I went with Express Train in third, but I don't believe Express Train's going to win. I just think Express Train, it could be running on late and get a piece at a big price on the 7.
Oh, yes. I was trying to run on, maybe hit the try, Oldie.
Yeah.
I mean, that for Sheriffs, I mean, the San Diego, that was much tougher. So, she didn't, or he didn't necessarily run, but makes sense though, Oldie. I mean, you get back to both these races, a little bit of a more comfortable spot. Has been at Del Mar, ran 3rd in the San Diego, right? I mean, that was an 82, so maybe Barrios can get this horse to close and hit the trifecta. All right, I am 1-2. You are 2-1, and then maybe the 7 to run on for the try.
Yep.
There's only 1 stakes over at Del Mar, Oldie. And now we're going to cover one of your favorite places. Over at Woodbine tomorrow, we have the Seaway Stakes, a grade 3 on the Tapeta going 7. Ticker tape home with a big morning line angle. Let's watch the race sim. Weigh the risks as a big GSR drop, Oldie. Seven, 1 up there as well. Sorry.
Yeah.
Stormcast. Going to be out on the front end. 8, 9. Elijah Field. Covered that horse quite a bit. The 8, though, weigh the risks. Oldie wins on the race sim, but drops getting over to the synthetic track for the first time for Chad Brown. What do you, where'd you land here?
So I landed with the 1 Stormcast on top. Grade 3 winner. Is very fast. It's just a matter of getting out of the gate. 1, that grade 3 breaking 10th and rushing up for the lead, which you don't see work very often at 7 furlongs. If this horse can get out of the gate, it could be gone.
There's other speed, though, on Olivia Rose, Oldie. I mean, I so think this race is setting up for the 2. I love this horse. Ticker tape home, Oldie. I think this race perfectly sets up. I mean, isn't the 7 going to just go with the 1? I
I
mean,
think the
they're
question
gonna be
is,
flying.
they're both from the same barn, and will
Well,
Mark
Cassie
Cassidy
has a
allow?
ton. Yeah.
Yeah, will he allow both those horses to go? And the horse that looks like it can rate a little bit is Olivia Rose, who's much cheaper than Stormcast
Yeah.
as well. Um, so my guess is Stormcast is the one who's going to be on the lead.
No, I agree with you. But I think the 7 might sit right off, but I still think they go. I mean, Stormcast beat a 72 at 7 makes a lot of sense off the way off Cassie. I mean, you gotta have this horse ready. I mean, it looks ready based on the work
Yeah,
tab. Looks super fit. Even I mean, but that's a extremely good work going back to June 29th, as well as even all the way back into May. I mean, this horse is fit and ready to go. So I had this horse second. I mean, I just thought ticker tape home with the 7. I think this horse gets back to 7 furlongs. Only it's so perfect off the turf, back on the synthetic, has nearly won a lot of these races versus tougher and just missing. Which might look at a negative, but he's really in great form. And won the Seaway at 7. Gonna have to improve a little bit, but I thought with that speed of the 1 and 7, and they're all Cassie's, Oldie. I mean, you
yeah,
got all 3 of them here. But I thought with husbands, it's just a great trip. 3-1 morning line angle too.
yeah. No, I agree. That was my second horse. And I went all Cassie try here with Olivia Rose as well, who I think will sit just off. And I even think it could be an all Cassie super because Elysian Fields, who I don't think's a sprinter, is going to be closing late.
Comic John, who were you referring to bled last time?
Speedboat Beach is who he was talking about.
Oh, okay. Got it. Yeah, so you like the 7. I mean, so you're all about the speed up front.
Yeah, I like the speed in this race.
All right, that is Woodbine race number 9, Oldie. You are 1, 2, 7, and I like the 2. I'm excited
Okay.
to we'll get to watch this race tomorrow. We're gonna watch it live actually, so we'll cover
Yep.
this on the stretch run. Maybe I'll single there. Might have to play that sequence. All right. That was Woodbine tomorrow, race 9, the Seaway. All right, Oldie. We're gonna talk maybe 2 races Sunday. We're gonna cover 2 on Sunday. A lot of times we don't get to cover Sunday. First with Del Mar, a grade 3, the second race of the day. Gonna be a very short price here in Sweet Azteca. Let's watch the race sim and see if
Yeah.
she's the real deal. Top GSR, top SOR, top pace, top pick. Speed at Del Mar.
Yep.
Well, they're going 6.5, and she just kind of runs them off their feet on the race sim. The 3 starts to back up, and she pulls away in the stretch. Oldie, is that what's going to happen on Sunday?
I think that's the most likely outcome.
Yeah,
And that's where I think both of us landed is, that, I there's just not much here in terms of other horses. There's always a risk that like that last race with McCarthy, that Sweet Azteca shows up, but I don't think that's going to happen here. That was
I
the end
know
of a
that.
long season there.
I noticed the trainer switch, Oldie, to Baltus.
Yeah,
But you see, JJ rides here. He hadn't been riding for McCarthy, right? A lot of times Pratt was getting those mounts. I mean, he did ride, but I mean, I'm glad to see JJ aboard. But yeah, I don't know Pamela Zybarth, but she got a nice one. I thought she was gonna be tough, Oldie. Gonna be a really short price, but I did think she would be tough to beat.
yeah. I mean, the only hope would be that the 3 duels with her and they set it up for somebody else. Because if that happens, I don't think either of those two horses win the race unless Sweet. I don't think the three can win the race, is what I'm saying, based on the way the three would have to run to keep Sweet Azteca from winning.
Well, it sets up for Chamosa Oldies, who
Yeah.
I'd put for second. If I mean, in all honesty, if that happens and you can see it, as long as they duel like that, this race sets up for the one, in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, I just don't think there's anywhere else to go. I don't particularly like the one, but the four is a turf horse, and the two's cheap. So I just think you end up on the one by default in that case.
Yeah, no, that's a good point. All right, that's Del Mar on Sunday. Oldie, one more because we don't cover a lot of quarter horse, but we do sometimes. There's a nice 400-yard handicap
Yeah.
stakes. Impressum is here. Shaker's no secret. They're both in the middle of the track. They're both classy. There's some other nice horses here though. Going 400 yards, Oldie, over at Los Al Sunday night. When I put this race in our show sheet, I was like, wow, this race is gonna be late Eastern time, 12:51 a.m. on Monday morning, 9:51 Pacific. They're always running late out there at Los Al. Let's watch the race sim. My concern for the 4 and 5 is those posts, Oldie. It's just you never know on a quarter
Yeah.
horse race. I thought Impressive's a really nice horse and is gonna for sure be the favorite, and maybe runs off with it, but I went for some long shot angle here to try to beat the 4. The 4 and the 5 are right there on the race sim, Oldie. But what'd you think?
Yeah, I thought, if the four is ready, and that's the question off the trainer change, that the four is just better than this group. That won the champion of champions here,
Yeah.
has
Yes.
multiple grade ones,
Yep.
just has that one loss here. I just think that the four is going to break pretty slowly because that's what it does.
Yeah,
And
but
then it's going to be flying
that's
late.
it. But oh, if this horse breaks too slow, Oldie, and you got Cattail Cove who's fast, stepping up. Shaker's no secrets, no joke. I mean, I worry Scoops Dynasties broke well last out, 440, but that's it was 72. But oh man, like if that horse can't break perfect, they're gonna be tough in the middle of the track. But I agree with you. Impressive is legit here. You look on the SOR, Oldie, and hands and above, hearing the man go. He's just, I
Yeah.
mean, 6 points is a lot too. So he might just be gone. I had that horse second. I put the one on top, Oldie, unrelentless. You know, 15%. Glaber rides here. Trainer changed. Albert Velez, first race 22%, first race with the horse 21%. They find this great spot, one that's crazy starter allowance. It was an 80, ended up winning that race at 10-1. I don't know who was in that for Eddie Willis, but on the trainer change here and has been facing tough. I know also here, doesn't necessarily break well, but has shown speed. So I like the trainer change, Oldie. And that was kind of the angle here. I like the trainer change in a race like this. I do think the 4 and 5 are great horses, but maybe the switcher on the trainer, this horse gets out and the 4 or 5 gets stuck in the middle and the one wins on the inside.
All right. So I ended up 4-5-1 here.
Yeah.
I think if the four breaks, the advantage to the five here in terms of where it's breaking and to the four is the four breaks slow. So
Hmm.
he it may actually help in avoiding trouble for both horses there.
Yeah. Yeah.
In third, I had your one, and then the only honorable mention, but I think it needs to improve, is the three Cattail Cove for me.
Yeah. He's a nice horse. I've watched this horse race a lot, but to your point, and I like to whether look at 400 yards, impress him at 15 of 16, 13 wins. I mean, just
Yeah.
absolutely outstanding. But you look at a horse like Cattail Cove, well, I mean, he been around right? I mean, an
Yeah.
8-year-old faced some amazing horses. It would be an incredible win, in all honesty. But I would love to see that. But I think, I mean, as long as impress and break, okay, can be tough. But
Yeah.
all right, you're 4-5-1, and I am 1-4-5. Sunday. Race number 9, Oldie at Los Alamitos, nighttime. The man, go. Oh, David, we appreciate that. Oldie, that was good.
Yeah.
About 90 minutes, like always. We got an Alabama bred stakes in today at Evangeline. Will be tomorrow. We covered the Charlestown Classic, the Oaks tonight, both of those races. We actually covered that Saratoga race that's going to show up in 12 minutes, actually, Oldie. So we started the show with Saratoga race 9, and now it's about to go off in 10 minutes. You like the 9. I like the 1 who's taking a lot of money in the 2. The 9 is not taking money yet, Oldie. Currently 4-1 off a 5-1 morning line.
Yeah. I did not think the 9 was going to take money, even though the morning line thought it might. My hunch was that it would not. So, but it
Well,
was hard to tell because of the scratches there as to where the money was going to go. I'm not surprised the one's 9-5.
yeah, no, I'm with you. All right.
And
Well, go for it.
I was just going to say to everybody, please join us tomorrow, Saturday, August 23rd, for the Stretch Run Travers Day Live. Justin and I will be back starting at 2:30 p.m. Eastern. We would love for you to join us for your Travers Day.
Yes, hit the like to subscribe. Oldie, I put the QR code up there too. 3 free races per day. If anybody's new, feel free to click that. But yeah, Oldie, we're going to be back. Oh, David, you like Awesome Check? Oh man, that's good. I like to hear that, David. That's a good exacta. Might have to put in a play there. But Oldie, we'll be back in about 24 hours. The
Yep.
Travers tomorrow. Great weekend of racing because Oldie, and I meant to mention this, Sunday has Monmouth Park and Woodbine have really good stakes cards. We won't get a chance to cover them,
Yeah.
but for anybody tuning in, there's really great racing this weekend, not just the Travers and Saratoga tomorrow and some of these other stakes we talked about tonight. You have Charlestown tonight, Saratoga tomorrow, and Woodbine and Monmouth Park. All great cards, Oldie.
And one other thing to add as well, Justin, don't forget to get your keepers in by Monday.
I
We got our fantasy
only
football draft coming up.
Yes, fantasy football. I when I was traveling, I was able to play some daily fantasy on DraftKings because when I'm in another state, I can
Yeah,
play. Just can't play on Washington State. So you know how many fantasy leagues I joined on DraftKings?
I'm gonna guess 15.
29.
15
so
sounded ridiculous to begin with.
yeah. But as I was traveling
Yeah,
for those couple weeks, I was putting in some fantasy football teams. But I'm looking forward to it. You put a good league together, and everybody, thanks for joining us. And come back tomorrow, Oldie. You and I will be here. Um, we'll have some Gulfstream as well. Probably some
yeah.
Monmouth Park squeezed in with Saratoga and Woodbine, and probably some other tracks as well. All right, buddy.
All right,
Anything else?
that's it.
All right. It was a pleasure. Thanks everybody for joining. Hit the like, subscribe on the way out. Tune in tomorrow. We will be live at 2:30 Eastern. We'll see you soon.